this is Molly. Welcome to Purpose, where we are going through the Bible, reading the stories, and then seeing how they relate to our own lives. Because the Bible's not just some distant thing about a bunch of people that lived thousands and thousands of years ago. They're stories that can help us lead a better life today. We just have to learn from them. So when we left off, we were on Genesis chapter 42. So Jacob's son Joseph, he was his favorite. He got the fancy Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat coat. He didn't have to do as much work as his brothers. They were jealous. They sold him to the slave traders. And then we talked all about the hardships Joseph suffered, but how he kind of grew where he was planted. And he was thriving in Egypt, even though he'd been in jail for 13 years and he had a lot of hardship. He ended up doing really well. And in fact, he's saving Egypt and the whole Middle East from famine because God told him, you're going to have 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. You better store up for the hard times. And that's what Joseph did. Now the hard times are here. People are coming to him, asking him for help, and he's able to give them grain. And we talked last time about how we have to do that in our spiritual life, you know. When times are good, you have to really talk to God and get close to him and get to know him more and ask him to teach you to love him more, because hard times will come. And when the hard times come, if you have that store of spiritual abundance in you, you can draw on it when the times are hard. So the hard times hit Joseph's brothers and his dad Jacob. They were hungry. They'd used up all their food. They were about to starve. So Jacob told the boys, I've heard that there's this guy in Egypt that Pharaoh has given out food. You need to go to Egypt and bring back some food. So that's what they did. They went to Egypt. No idea Joseph was the one there handing out the food, and they didn't recognize him because they weren't expecting to see him. He had changed. He was dressed Egyptian, you know. They didn't know who he was. And so they went up to him and they bowed down. Remember that dream Joseph had when he was a kid, that his brothers were bowing down to him, and then his mom and dad were even bowing down to him. And the brothers were like, yeah, the kid's gone too far. We are not bowing down to him. And that's what sent him over the edge to sell him into slavery. They wouldn't be humble. They wouldn't humble themselves to their littler brother. And so now here they are bowing down to him. God's funny that way. And anyway, they were asking him for grain, but Joseph knew right away who they were. He knew that those were his brothers. Had to be like a stomach punch to him. And he said, y'all are spies. Come here to try to see what our land's like so you can overthrow us. And they're like, no, we're not spies. We're just sons of Jacob. We're good people. We've come here to get grain. And Joseph's like, no, you're spies. I know you are. And they said, no, we're just 12 brothers. They included Joseph in the count. They included him as a brother. Had to warm Joseph's heart. And so Joseph said, all right, let me think on this. I think I'm going to send you all back home, but some of you are going to have to stay here. And you go, they said that they had a little brother, Benjamin. And he said, you go get Benjamin and bring him back here. And he made the brothers stay in prison for 3 nights. He was in prison for like 13 years or more. He only made them stay in prison 3 nights. We have to pay sooner or later for the crimes that we do. I mean, we may not be breaking the law, but we hurt people. We do things that are wrong. You know, we lie, we cheat. I don't think we steal, but we hurt people's feelings. We talk bad about people. We might even spread rumors. Who knows? Point is, we all do stuff wrong. And we all have to pay for it. It's a lot easier if we pay for it while we're on earth. We apologize to the people we've hurt. We apologize to God. We make amends. It's a lot tougher to have to make amends when we get to heaven. So the boys were put in jail for 3 days. And when he let them out, he said, look, One of you has to stay here. I'm going to keep Simeon. The rest of you go home, get Benjamin, bring him back here. If you really do have a little brother Benjamin, then I'll believe that you're telling the truth and you weren't spies. And then he put all of the money that they brought to pay for the grain, he put that back in their bags, and he gave them extra money for the trip. So they were like stunned that he was going to let them go and that he was going to give them all the grain. They didn't know he gave them the money. And they were talking amongst themselves. They didn't know that Joseph spoke Hebrew because he'd been using an interpreter. He spoke Egyptian now too. And so he wanted people to think he was Egyptian, or at least his brothers. And they said, man, we are being punished for hurting our brother, for killing him. He was crying out to us to help him, and we didn't help him. And now we need help, and that's why we're here. That's why we're suffering, because we didn't help our brother when he needed it. And Joseph was hearing all that. And then Reuben said, I told you not to kill him, but would you listen to me? No. And they're bickering back and forth with each other. And so Joseph told them, all right, y'all need to go and go get your brother and come back. And I think he even told them, I can't find it in here, but I think he even told them, don't fight along the way. Don't fight with each other. Be nice to each other. And they got home and they told Jacob, hey, look, Dad, we've got to take Benjamin back. And Jacob was like, no, sir, not going to happen. You're not taking Benjamin back. I've already lost Joseph. Now I've lost Simeon. You're not taking Benjamin back with you. It wasn't until they ran out of food and they needed more food again, then Jacob was like, all right, go back and you can take Benjamin with you, but just know I'm going to be dead because I know he's not coming back. Y'all are killing me here. And they did eventually go back for more grain. And they found out all the money was in their bag, and they weren't quite sure why all that money was there. And when they went back the second time with Benjamin, their dad said, you take that money back and you give it to him. We've got to be honest about this. You can't be stealing money. So you put it back, you take it back to them, and you tell them you don't know how it got there and you're sorry they didn't spend it. So they're trying to make up for everything they'd done in the past. And they're trying to let Joseph know without even knowing that's what they're doing, that they're good people. They're trying to be good people. And so I guess that's our lesson. When we hurt people, we may not be able to make it up to the people we hurt. They thought Joseph was dead. They didn't know they could make anything up to him. But we just have to be extra nice to other people. We just have to pray for each other. Pray that the people that bug us and irritate us will have peace in their heart. Pray that people in politics will have peace in their heart and that they'll know God. Pray that people in the news who are suffering will feel the peace and the love of God. Pray for our own family members, of course, and the people we love, but we've got to pray for others too. And I kind of think this is how we make up for doing bad. If you can't apologize to the person that you've hurt, we've got to apologize to God, and we've got to try to make up for that by praying for each other. Even the people we don't agree with, even the people who tick us off, we've got to pray for them. And we've got to be humble. We've got to be able to bow ourselves down and ask for mercy. And did you notice that Joseph's a lot like Jesus here? Joseph was in a land where he didn't belong, and he got punished for things that he didn't do, and he ends up saving everybody. And he made them pay for what they did. He made his brothers stay in jail for 3 days and pay for their sins, but not nearly as much as he suffered for them. He was in prison a lot longer than they were. And he's saving all these people. You just have to be humble and go to Jesus and ask for forgiveness and ask for help. Just like they have to be humble and go to Joseph and ask for help. We have to humbly know that we can't get through this life on our own. We can't be nice enough. We can't be kind enough. We can't be patient enough. We just can't. We're human. We're going to get ticked off. But we can go to Jesus and say, I can't do this, Jesus. You need to help me. Please. I'm getting mad. I'm getting selfish. I'm getting jealous, whatever. Help me. And he will. That's what he's there for. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. When we're going to come back, we're going to find out what happened to Benjamin when they took him back to Egypt with them. Did they all get to go home? What happened? Did the brothers find out it was Joseph? I don't know. We'll find out. Well, I hope you all just have the very best day today, and be sure to pray for each other. Bye-bye.